All right, good afternoon, guys. So we're here today, and we're going to talk a little bit about some gifts this morning. And so, what happens when we do not do the things that we like to do? What do you think? What do you think that happens? What takes place there? Do you think?
I get bored.
You get bored. There's one. That is for sure. But we can get anxious, we can get depressed. I mean, there's many different things that we can do. And so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my story. About 4 years ago, I wasn't doing the things that I like to do. There was a time and period when, and you both know that I like to go fishing, okay? And there was 2 years that I didn't even cast one time in a row, 2 consecutive years. Can you believe that? No. Those who know me know I like to fish. Well, I got, and I didn't know this at the time, but I was in a minor state of depression. And through that, I ended up gaining a bunch of weight and everything. And so all of that kind of added on together. And it wasn't until I came across these verses that kind of changed my thinking and changed my life a little bit for the better there. Now, I was already saved and things of that nature, but that's kind of what was going on. And so I was reading in my devotions one day, and I came across Psalms 37. And so I want to read those 2 verses 4 and 5. Psalm 37, 4 and 5. Commit or delight yourselves in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will do it. Now, when I read these verses for the first time, I had a question, why will God give me the desires of my heart? I mean, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And then when I read verse 5, it was almost like a dare when he says, commit your ways to the Lord. Trust in him also, and he will do it. All right, so it was like David is giving us a double dog dare. I don't know what you guys called it when you were kids. What did you guys say if you really wanted to dare someone? What did you guys do? What did you guys say?
Triple dog.
Was it triple dog? Oh, okay. So it went from double dog to triple dog. All right. So, but David has been depressed. And so I want you to know that depression is a real thing and that anyone can be depressed. And I think if we don't use some of these gifts, which we're going to share in just a little bit, that we can go into a state of depression as well. So to answer that question, why will God give us desires of our heart, is because he is the one who created us. Okay, and he created us with the likes that we have, with the gifts that he had. And so he says there, delight yourself in the Lord. There's the first thing. Okay, the first thing is we have to delight ourselves in the Lord. Okay, we have to follow his ways, follow his calling, following his wills in our life. And he will give you the desires of your heart. Okay, the reason being, again, is because he created us with certain gifts, certain likes. Okay, and so those are the desires that we like, because he gifted us, he created us in that way. And in as Psalms 139 says, it talks about how he knit us in our mother's womb. Okay, and so while he was creating us, you can kind of picture how we were created there. So for those 9 months, as you were saying on Sunday night, he was actually creating in us those gifts and those desires. And so the gifts and talents that you have were given to you by Jesus Christ himself. Okay, and the desires that I have. Now, as you guys know, I love to go fishing, and I know Trinity is a big fisherman as well. And so we share that together as well. And so we love to go fishing. Okay, and so that is placed in us by our merciful God. And so here's the key to these 2 verses. We must commit our ways to the Lord, and we must trust in him. Okay. And so we do those things. That is when we truly find out what those gifts are for us. And then there's another really cool verse, and this is one of my go-to verses, and I know you guys both know this verse very well. So in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10, okay, is a go-to verse of mine. Trini, you want to read that one?
For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand so that we would walk in them.
All right. All right, so it uses that word, workmanship. Now, we don't use that word in our English language a whole lot. And so I had to find out what that means, because I was like, what does that mean? Okay, so this is, again, went through this as I was going through my spout of depression. I had already read Psalms 37. Now I was coming to Ephesians 2:10. So I looked it up in the Greek. And what is it in the Greek?
Poema.
Poema. Okay? And what is poema? What can you tell us about poema?
Well, it sounds like poem.
It does sound like poem. That's where we get our English word poem. A poem has both rhyme and reason. And although you will not find those two words in the Greek meaning, but I'm just saying that a poem that has rhyme and reasons. And so our life, what I tell people, our life has rhyme and reason. We are created in Jesus Christ, and so our lives have rhyme and reason. And so He knew, okay, God knew what you would be dealing with here in life. Therefore, He gave us our gifts and our talents to help get us through those times of trials, those times of difficulty in our life. And so what does our verse say that we are to do with these gifts and these talents?
Walk in them.
We're to walk in them, okay? We're to use them for His glory, right? And it says that He has prepared them for us, so that we are to walk in them, okay? And so, yes, we are to use these talents. So the talents that God has given us, we are to use them for His glory and to do what His will is in our lives. And so that's amazing to me. And is there anything that you want to add, or any of you guys want to add to this verse here?
I just think it's really nice just to know that, we're his workmanship, so he has a purpose for us. It's just very comforting to know.
Absolutely. It is comforting to know. I like it because here God goes and He says, okay, Scott, I know what you're going to face. Okay, He knows the situations I'm going to face. And He says, hey, I'm going to give you some backup. Okay, your life has purpose with me, and I'm going to give you some gifts. I'm going to give you some talents here to help you during these times of trial. Okay, in the same way with you guys. He knows what you guys are going to go through, and He has done the same thing with you as well, with the gifts and the talents that He has given you. So I want to end by saying you were created with the gifts and the talents that you have to use them for the glory of God. Okay, I've had people come up to me and say that they don't feel like that they have gifts or talents. And so this is what I say. I just want to let you know what I say to them. I always ask them, I was like, what is it that you like to do? Okay, what is it that makes you you? Okay, if you were going to describe yourself to me, how would you do it? Okay, and so usually from those descriptions, you will use things that describe you or what you like to do. And there may be even some of those that you do not like to do. But either way, it describes who we are. Those things that we like to do, those are our gifts. Those are the gifts that God has given them to us. And we're to use those for the glory of God. Okay, I have a pastor friend who used to be on the bass fishing circuit. And he used his gift of fishing to minister to those people. Okay, I've known several of the ladies who love to cook, and they have used those gifts that God has given them for His glory. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. Okay, these gifts can be simple, and I think we try to overcomplicate it sometimes. And like, well, I have to be this major athlete or this something that everybody is looking up to, right? And it doesn't have to be that. But what is it that you like to do? And the second thing is this: how can I use that for the glory of God? Okay, so whatever it is. So what I do is I do like fishing, and I now take people fishing with me, and when I do that, I'm able to talk about the things of Christ, okay, and to share Christ with them, okay, and you guys have a wonderful pond up there that I love to go fishing at, and I've taken several people up there to go fishing, and they're trapped with me inside the boat, okay. I get to share Christ with them, and there is nothing they can do about it, right? And so that is what I do. And so I use those talents there for the glory of God. Okay, so whatever it is that you like to do, we can use those gifts. We can use those talents there for the glory of God. I see you using some of those, and do you want to tell a little bit about what you do there on the verse of the day?
Oh, I just really enjoy reading like a verse, and then if it sticks out to me, I'll just like sharing it. I enjoy doing like social media and that kind of thing, so I figured might as well apply the stuff I learned and share it on social media.
Absolutely. Would you say that is glorifying God?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and so you are talented there, and you have many talents as well. Okay, and you put them to use. You help me out with your talents all the time. So I'm sitting next to two talented people here. Okay, and I'm the slacky in the middle, right? So no, but you guys use those gifts, and I think that is awesome. We don't live in a generation that is God honoring, God seeking as a whole, and neither is my generation really. But it doesn't matter. That wasn't the criteria, that only if they are God seeking do you use these gifts, right? He doesn't say that, but we're to use those gifts for God's glory, and who knows, God may use our gifts to bring someone to salvation. I don't think we will ever fully know the impact of the gifts that we use. Paul, we're reading from Ephesians. Paul wrote this, roughly 2,000 years ago. Okay, and Paul is still reaping what he has sown 2,000 years ago. Okay, we could go through many different people and talk about that, and they use their gifts, and so it is important to use our gifts and to use them for His glory. And so I thank you guys for using your gifts to glorify God.